Welcome, everyone, to listen to the Vibes Daily Devotions, where we take a little bit of time each and every day to help you to get one step closer to that goal of success, whether it be in business or just life in general. Thank you for joining, and here we go. All right, this segment, I want to talk about the importance of timeout. And there's a lot of ways we can use this. First of all, there's times in our lives where we kind of fall into a routine. And I believe that we don't really think about what we're doing, but we tend to get kind of grumpy, or maybe it's just not giving other people the attention you should be giving them, or, different things like that. And that's why it's important to kind of take a time out of your day to reflect on the things that you've done. And maybe you might realize where you kind of messed up. And that way you can get back on track again. So, I would recommend that you try that every day. Because, I screw up all the time. Sometimes I get so wrapped up in things that I know I need to get done that I don't really pay attention to the way that I treat other people. And so, I'm kind of grumpy, and I don't really consider other people's feelings. And when because I'm thinking of other things. So it's very, very, it's one of those things you really need to stop and do, so you don't distance yourself from other people. And another time out that you need to take is, of course, for your body. We can push ourselves, whether it be work or, even the exercise and things like that. And we just push ourselves and push ourselves and push ourselves. And if you don't take that time out to let your body recuperate, what's going to end up happening is your body's going to just shut itself down. And you may not see that right away, but eventually your body's going to fight back. So you have to give attention. Your body needs that attention to say, hey, you know what? I've been out working all these hours or doing this, that, and the other. I need to take time out to let my body just kind of chill out. Maybe kick back and watch TV, watch a movie, read a book, different things like that. Another time out that kind of goes hand in hand is your mind. Your mind needs a break, because we pump ourselves with all the craziness that you see in the news and social media and things like that. I'm always bombarding our minds with, it just seems like so many negative things. And so we need to take a break from all that. Do something fun that, your brain is still, it's going to work no matter what. I don't care if you try to meditate or what, your brain has got to think on something all the time. Something is always going through your mind. So why don't you, maybe make it something more enjoyable. Maybe a happy movie, a comedy or something like that, or, read a happy book, do some puzzles, play some games, something like that, something to get your mind off those other things for a while. Because your brain, let's put this way, your emotions and even your physical being will change with the way your mind is thinking. If you don't believe me, you want to take that chance, you just see what happens when you have nothing but worry and negativity, all these terrible things. You keep pumping your mind with that. See if you don't end up with an ulcer, or you're just a grump. Like I say, I can attest to that. Your body is going to let you know as well. So give your mind that time out. Another timeout you need to do is before you make any kind of decisions. Like, I know this one where you want to kind of lash out at somebody, but you stop and really think about that. So, hey, time out. Let me really think this over and make sure I'm going to approach this the right way. Because what are the circumstances? What's going to happen if you do that? You're going to cause a rift either in your home, at work, or whatever. You know, um, these people that get on social media and they lash out at people all the time. Why don't you stop and think about what if the shoe was on the other foot? How would you want people to react to you? Now, one of my problems is I would get on and I would give my opinions on whatever subject in social media, and then I'd get really pissed off when somebody would come back at me with something else, and I'd be like, you know what, I don't need anybody's comments. If you want to comment on your own page. I'm just giving my opinion. You take it or leave it. But you know what? That's not right either. So stop and think. You want to give your opinions, you ought to be willing to hear it from somebody else. And stop and think also, do you really think it's worth getting in a fight over, maybe ruining in a relationship? I see people on there all the time that just they have family and friends they've had for years that just they don't agree with them, and so they cut them out of their lives, and that's tragic. So hey, time out. Stop and think about that. Is what you're arguing about or you're so passionate about worth losing these relationships? I mean, seriously, and hey, when you need to make a life decision, life changing decision, take that time out to think about that as well. Whether it be a move or another job, things like that, you really need to think about these things. Now, one of my other videos, I mentioned getting a goal. You need to take time out of your life to think about what those goals are that you want. You know, think about what you need to do. Stop the rest of the world for a little while. Take the time to think about these things. This time out can be applied to so many things. Sometimes you have to take a time out from friendships, other relationships. Um, Different situations arise where you have to make that decision to, you want to help people, but sometimes you have to kind of take a step back. You got to let them fall, because no matter what you do, it's not going to change what they're doing. You have to love people from afar, so you may have to take time out of that relationship. Now, I'm going to come up with other things in the future that is a good example of what we need to stop and just kind of step away from for a while, or we have to stop and think about. As you remember when you were a kid, um, for me, timeout was being put in a corner, and that time is not, more than just a punishment. I think it's really set aside for you to stop and think what you did. Did you do something wrong? Um, what did I do wrong? And what do I need to do to not do that in the future? Or what do I need to do to rectify this situation? You know, um, Bosses, here's the thing. Sometimes a boss is so pressured to get things done, and he's got to rely on other people to do it, that he goes about, getting them to do what he needs them to do, probably not in the best way. So if you're a boss, take a time out and think, what's the best way to approach this situation? How do I motivate people without having to be a jerk? Okay, I understand. There comes time where you have to punish someone, whether it's an employee or one of your children. Um, got to take time out before you do that too. What are the circumstances that's going to happen with those actions of discipline? Maybe I'm going a little off track here, but sometimes you are so quick to react that you're going to do something that you're going to regret. There's that parent that you know gets really really upset with a child and decides that he or she's gonna punish that child, and maybe they get out of hand whooping them, or things like that. And I'm not here to say I'm for or against that kind of thing. That's a choice that you need to make on your own. But if you're going to punish a child that way, you better stop and think about it before you do something that's going to hurt that child and maybe bring repercussions on you. I am flying all the way off the handle here. I need to take time out and kind of think a little bit more about what I want to say. But this is going to come up again. I think it's important that you really need to take time out for yourself and get your thoughts together, get your head on straight, and hopefully get you one step closer to being a better person and to reaching the goals that you want to reach in this life. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, because it's only through your support that we're able to continue doing the things that we do. And until the next one, have a great day.